Okay, you saw my last video and you saw the first test drive with the new springs. You did not see the second drive. I did not have camera rolling, but yeah, up about 30, 35 miles per hour. I got a horrible death wobble. Scared me to death. Got home slowly. But since then been researching different things that can cause that. One of which, most common, is wheels way out of balance, tire pressure, things like that. I did find a place that would balance my tires and rims as close as they could get them. That'll be my first test, I guess. I'm going to put those on and go for a test drive and see what happens then. Some other things, the caster, the caster is supposed to be 1/2 degree. It's about 1.5. Everybody I've talked to said that's not a problem. Camber, which is toe in. I'm going to check that once I get both wheels and tires back on. It's supposed to be a 1/8 of an inch toe in. We'll check that. The pivot bearings on the knuckles, there is play in those. That could be causing my problem. I did order a set of new bearings and I plan to take care of that, whether that's really this immediate problem or not. But I will take care of that. Something else I had to follow up on, there is no torque standard on the U-bolts. I kept my old U-bolts in there. There is no torque standard. Basically, what I've found in manuals is that torque them 3 times in the first month, which tells me, yeah, they're gonna come loose a little bit. Torque them to where you think they're tight enough they won't fall off, I guess is the key. Show you a couple things, but I'll go ahead and put the wheels and tires back on and go for a test drive. I've got the balanced wheels on and check the tire pressure. Oh, I feel that. Yeah, I feel that. So we're not done yet. So what have I got in my goodie box from Vintage Power Wagons? We have bearings. These are for the bottom. We'll go in here. Bronze bearings will go in here. And bearing races. Looks like I'll have to do my heating and cooling trick to get this stuff together. So let's dive in. Basic disassembly procedures, nothing really mystical about it. Yeah, tie the brake backing plate, the brakes, tie them back so that they don't get dirty and nasty. But as I mentioned, the top is the bronze and the bottom is the roller bearing. I can definitely tell there's some play in the roller bearing, so it's time to get that apart. Now, it's time to get all this goop out of there, at least enough to where I can get these pieces disassembled. So moving right along, things to think about. Check your bearings before you stuff it full of grease, because we got the grease. I'm not going to do a hospital clean job. I'm getting the majority. I'm trying to save some of the grease already pushed in there, and I'll try to reuse that because it takes so much to fill up that fish bowl that wallers around in. So far things are coming apart pretty well. Got the top and bottom off. Take the tie rod loose before you take anything else off. You can do it last, but it's a little bit harder. So yeah, show you something else. So these bearing races are coming out fairly easily with a tool like that. Didn't have to heat or anything. Just use a little pressure, came out. This is the top bearing race, which at first I kind of thought it was kind of okay, but yeah, there's some scoring on there, so I'm going to go ahead and do top and bottom. So that's that so far. Well, there's your problem. That's the bottom bearing race. So yeah, that's done. Yeah, had some trouble getting the bottom bearing off. That should clean up okay down there, and I should be able to get the new bearing on. But man, heat, all kinds of many tools. Finally get the bearing off. The top one came loose, no problem. Installing the bearing races, it's not complicated. Clean up the surface with 220 paper. Little lube. And it's been sitting in the freezer a couple days. So I took a little bit more drama than the camera picked up, but had to use a little bit more force on the floor. But essentially, get it in until it's level with the top surface here. So we should be good. If you are not subscribed, Santa will not come visit you. Guaranteed. All right, so let's see if we can get this on there. Oh, looky there. Perfecto. There we have that. Perfecto. Both perfecto. Okay. Let me explain a few things about how this works. You put it all back together and torque on the bottom plate. Now, a lot of times those bearing spacers and other applications, you put them in a specific place. There's stops for them, and that's where they stop. This is not the case. The bottom one, you get it like I showed, right to the surface. Then you get it all together, and what that does, get these off here. That will actually push the bearing race up above the mating surface. And what you have to do is use a series of spacers to add or subtract these spacers in order to get the proper preload on it. And I'll show you how that works. Right now I've got too much drag. Basically you put a torque wrench on here, and the standard is 25 to 27 foot-pounds in order to turn this smoothly. So if it takes more, then you subtract the spacers, and less opposite. Oh, I wanted to mention too, it's awful handy to have something like this to support the bottom one when you're reassembling. You kind of get it supported on the bearing down here, and then you can get the rest of it together. But let me do some experimentation and see what spacer I need to add to get the right preload. It's kind of hard to show this, but yeah, this is my vintage 70s torque wrench. So that's about as close as I can get it. Preload adjustment has to be done without that felt wiper in the back bolted in. So once you get everything back together, you can go ahead and get that sealed up. Of course, on the driver's side, you have to take the drag link free. Yeah, that's actually kind of the way it's supposed to be. I got to take the drag link free. I did discuss that in episode 6. I'll put a link down below. I am also changing up my tie rod ends. I didn't really want to. They're not really that loose, or loose at all really. But I did booger up the threads on the one side, so I'm kind of stuck. So, first thing, check center to center. It looks like I've got exactly 51 inches. That way when I take them apart, put on the new ones, I can at least get it there. I should be close enough. I can tweak it afterwards if I need to. There is a left and right tie rod end, and I've got it sitting as if it were in the truck. Basically, what I can tell the difference is the grease fitting goes on the back. So, all right, got the drag link rebuilt. Pay very close attention to the parts blow up, to how you assemble it. There's only one way to assemble it correctly. Got new boots on there. I think there's some wire supposed to go around here. Don't have that on yet. But yeah, getting closer. New tie rod ends are on there. They're just not tightened up yet. But considerably tighter. Everything is tighter, no looseness anywhere. It's almost like a brand new truck. Yeah. Okay, finally got this ring off. The old ring, I'm going to put the new ring on, theoretically. But this is the tire wheel that would not balance, and I found out why. The old guy who mounted this last time, that's the flap in there. It's folded. I don't know how in the heck he got it, but if I can't get that squished around right, I do have another one around, so one way or another we'll get that straightened out. So no, I'm not going to demonstrate how to take a wheel off and replace it. There's better videos on YouTube to do it. I just struggled with it. I did not have the right tools. I just used what I could find and modify and whatever to get that ring off. Finally did after about 3 hours, but it's a pain in the butt. But yeah, it's real important to, when you do mount the tire, you don't have stuff like that in there. I do have another flap to put in there, so hopefully I'll get this all put back together. Whenever I mount, well, anything with an inner tube, I like to put a little bit of air pressure in there so that it's going to lay flat. You're going to have less chance of a wrinkle or anything like that going on. So here's what you do if you don't have a cage. No, I don't recommend this, but everything seems good. There's no folds, wrinkles, pinches in the inner tube. All the steel looks solid. I'm not worried about it, but just for safety.
starting to move.
Yeah, so am I.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, you said you wanted to get it stuck.
Well, yeah.
Hit reverse.
Okay, I better drop it. That's good enough. That's safe enough for me to